Hi guys, welcome to Santiago, Chile. I got in 2 nights ago, I believe. And when I last talked to you guys, I was in Constitucion, Chile, climbing on the beach, which was amazing. So after I talked to you guys then, I actually didn't climb the rest of the day, just hung out there while everyone else was finishing up their climbs. But we ended up staying for sunset and we ended up making a fire. And it was actually, since it's on the beach, there was pretty much like a fish market close by. So a couple of the guys went back, bought some fish that we actually cooked over the fire. So it was pretty awesome rest of the day, the entire day actually. And even though I'm not a fish person, it actually came out pretty good, even though all we had was salt and beer for flavoring. But it was pretty good. Ended the night there, headed back, and the sky was amazing, full of stars. So it was a beautiful day, first day of sun finally after a lot of time with the cold and snow and rain and everything, so I was really happy about that. And the next day, pretty much, I made my way out to come here to Santiago. So yeah, the next day was pretty uneventful. I was pretty much waiting for my laundry to dry the entire day because the dryer wasn't working obviously too well. But finally just was like, all right, I'm gonna have to take my stuff and go, and hopped on a bus, made my way here, and had a chill evening. And then yesterday there was actually a solar eclipse. So everyone's been talking about the solar eclipse. There's actually a lot of people that went to Valle de Elqui, which is one of the places I'll be going, but I wasn't able to get there in time. From there you can see 100% the eclipse. From Santiago it's 92%, which is still pretty good. So we ended up going, I went with my couchsurfing host and a friend of his to this temple called Templo Baha'i, which is a Buddhist temple. It's a really cool looking temple, really neat architecture from the outside and the inside, just really cool looking. And it was packed full of people. Usually they say there's like pretty much hardly anyone there, but a lot of people went there to see the solar eclipse. So pretty much we hung out there for a couple hours. Even though all the special sunglasses and things were sold out to see the eclipse, we were able just to ask people and borrow them for a little bit to take a look. So throughout the couple of hours we kept checking back and pretty much checking out the solar eclipse. So that was a cool, different experience that I'm glad I was able to be here for. Usually there's a lot of smoke in Santiago from the pollution, so you have to go kind of a little bit outside of the city to get a better view. But anyways, that was yesterday during the day. And then at night, I stayed back at home to watch the semi-final of the Copa America between Argentina and Brazil. So it was a good game. Unfortunately, Argentina did not win, even though there were a lot of close calls. Hopefully, I was hoping it would be a tie or something. But anyways, Brazil's moving on tonight. Actually, Chile is playing against Peru. So hopefully Chile will win tonight, and I'll get to see that later, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, that was yesterday. Today I met up with another couchsurfer from Santiago, and we've been exploring the city. So we went to a place called Cerró Santa Lucía, which is a really pretty park. Again, it has really beautiful buildings inside, kind of older architecture, different gardens, and these giant stones and things like that, flowers. But also you get an amazing view of the city from different points. So we walked around there, pretty much walking around different parts of the city. Also went to the Plaza de Armas, which is always the main plaza in the city. They have the letters for Santiago, and in the important buildings, the oldest cathedral, things like that. So anyways, walked there, also to Calle Bandera, which is basically a street, a pedestrian street that's really painted and colorful. So the ground's painted. They have also different kind of cool looking modern sculptures and things like that. So walked around that area. Also under this bridge, which is also completely painted on the sides and on the ceiling and everything. So just really cool looking. Also went to this place called Paris y Londres, which are two streets that intersect. It has also older, pretty architecture and cobblestone streets, a really pretty area as well. But pretty much just have been walking around, exploring the city, stopped by some other parks, one where they have the Museo de Bellas Artes, also the park we're at now. So just hanging out and again, exploring more of the city. That's been today. And then a few other things that I left out last time, just again, other words and things that I've been learning along the way that are common here. So for example, something that's pretty common that they say is al tiro, which for example in Argentina they say al toque. Basically it means right away in that instant, so that's the Chilean version. They also use lucas when they're talking about money in terms of like thousands, because it's 700 Chilean pesos to a dollar. So obviously a lot of times you're talking in terms of thousands. So instead of saying, for example, 5,000, which is 5,000, they'd say 5 lucas. So that's really common. They also use that in Argentina as well. Also, a lot of the words I learned are derived from Mapuche. So basically the original inhabitants, like the original language, a lot of the words are derived from there. For example, one of them is pololo, which usually in Spanish would be novio, which is boyfriend, for example. So lots of different words that they use here again that I've been learning. Another thing I noticed is that a lot of people here smoke, not just cigarettes, but weed. I've noticed that's pretty common, like totally normal, even though it is actually illegal, but it's just really common. A lot of people smoke around here. So anyways, I've been noticing those little things, as well as in the supermarket. I also noticed they have labels, which I remember seeing in Ecuador a lot, to make it easier to see basically if it's good for you or what's in it, like it's high in sodium and sugar, and you can easily see that with the label. And also another good thing is they encourage using reusable bags, because basically if you go to the store you have to bring your own bag, otherwise you have to buy one. So that's common here, like everywhere you go. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything catching guys up on until now. Another thing before I forget, my plan is to make my way up north, but I was told that you can get pretty cheap flights from Santiago, and eventually the plan after Chile is to go to Brazil. So pretty much I'm gonna have to leave out of Santiago because the flights from here are gonna be cheaper, although they're still expensive. So what I ended up doing was buying a flight tomorrow to go to San Pedro de Atacama, which is the desert in the northeast of the country. I'll continue a bit farther north and then circle back around and make my way back to Santiago to fly out to go to Chile or Brazil. So that's the new plan. I'm kind of hopping around and we'll circle back to Santiago. So before I go, let me show you real quick the view of the plaza. And now you know what this plaza looks like. Just one of the typical ones, a pretty one anyways. But that's about all for now. So next time I talk to you guys, I will be in San Pedro de Atacama. Talk to you soon. Bye.